You see, the pubs are open all day in Dublin, except from 2:30 until 3:30 in the afternoon, which we call the holy hour. And all the pubs shut, but the barman, God, they're wonderful. Well, they let you sit in the bar till they open up again. And you can have a drink while you're waiting. But if nobody heard, the Irish, we've got very unusual drinking habits. We don't like going home the same day as we went out. We call it alcoholic constipation. We can't pass a pub. But Irishmen have a very good reason to drink. Irishmen drink to keep our wives good-looking. My brother-in-law, Seamus, he's Irish as well, by the way. In fact, he's very Irish. He thinks twice before he says nothing. When he was born, he thought he had bad breath and a cleft palate, but they were holding him upside down. He said, Daddy, he said, did I go on a honeymoon with you? He said, you went with me, but you came back with your mother, he said. But he got sent home last week when the school sports day. He tried to cheat in the egg and spoon race. He glued a spoon to his hand. And in the corner, you have a great big hoolie in the pub. Paddy was having his 40th birthday. You can imagine the drink was flowing, the crack was 90. And all his pals decided to get him a strippogram. I know you've had them for years over here, but in the Holy Catholic Ireland, we just got them. And this woman came in, she was a big girl, and she was half naked. And she sat in Paddy's knee. She said, I've come to give you super sex. He said, I'll have the soup. The first baby was very small. It only weighed about 1 pound, 3 ounces. We weren't expecting much. He'd only been married 3 months. But we thought if it was a girl, we'll call it a niece. If it was a boy, we'll call it a nephew. Must tell you, when she was very heavy pregnant, about 7 months pregnant, like a week overdue, you know. What the Irish called a dope carrier. He thought he was a great lover till he found that his wife had asthma. You lover me, I said he makes love like a video. How do you mean? He says fast forward, pause, and eject. So when she was very heavy pregnant, he rang up the hospital. He said, hello, he said, could you send an ambulance quick? He said, my wife is pregnant and she's gone into labour. The doctor said, is this her first baby? He said, no, this is her husband. I'll ask me pal Mick, he's very clever. He's a gynecologist. Well, he wanted to be a brain surgeon, but he wasn't tall enough. Very clever gynecologist. He once painted our hall stairs and landing through the letterbox. But sadly, he got thrown out of the medical registry. He tried to cure a haemophiliac with acupuncture. But he terrified the guy last week. He said, Sean, you're HIV positive. Oh, my God, does that mean I can drive those big trucks? He said, tell me, doctor, don't joke that. Can you get AIDS off a toilet seat? Oh, yes, if you sit down before the other fella gets up. But I can't stay long tonight. I've got to get home early. The wife's got laryngitis. I don't want to miss it. Well, it was one of them houses they built in Dublin about 12 years ago. The house didn't have a chimney. They had to carry the smoke out in buckets. And she was frightened of the washing machine. Oh, God, Mick, how did that washing machine work? This morning I put 7 shirts in, I pulled the chain, and I haven't seen the shirts yet. And she said, don't go to the toilet looking for the lavatory brush. I've thrown the lavatory brush in the bin. We're going back to paper again. So I went to court to give him some moral support. Just as Mary, we need some grounds for the separation. Was the marriage happy? It was very happy at first, but then coming back from the reception. I said he was drunk, and he said I was ugly, but he'd be sober in the morning. He said, how about sex? She said, infrequent. He said, is that 1 word or 2 words? How about adultery? Has he ever been unfaithful? Oh, God, we might have it there. I know for a fact he wasn't the father of my last child. He said, I'm going to award your wife £25. He said, thanks very much, and I'll try and send her a few quid myself. So he's picking me up at Dublin Airport in the car. He's got a lovely car. He bought the car out of the Irish Post. The advert said, car for sale, £300 or nearest offer. He got it for 350. And didn't we get stopped by the police? We did. He said, what have you stopped me for? He said, you were speeding. He said, well, so were you. He said, you passed me. He said, you were doing over 90 miles an hour. That's a lie. I haven't been in the car an hour. Where have you been? He said, the cemetery. He said, who's dead? He said, they all are. Right. Have you had a drink? He said, but thanks very much for asking. I had 4 pints of Guinness, 4 pints of lager, 3 pints of Murphy, 2 bottles of stout, and 13 brandy. Said, in the name and multiple of God, would you blow into this bag? He said, do you not believe me? What is it? He said, this is a bag. It tells me when you've had enough to drink. He said, I've got one of them at home, he said.